Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Dakota. Today we're diving into a report from American Vanguard Corporation. It's got a little bit of a redemption story, kind of like when you forget your anniversary but manage to recover with a grand gesture. Let's see if they pulled it off. First off, if you like getting the lowdown on company reports without all the confusing jargon, make sure you're subscribed. We also have a Discord community. Join in the fun with the link in the description. This is a Form 8K, which is basically a quick update companies file to let investors know about important events. This one's dated June 6, 2025. The main point here is that American Vanguard almost got kicked off the New York Stock Exchange. Imagine getting a "you're in trouble" letter from the stock market. Back in April, they were told they weren't following the rules because they were late filing their annual report, which is like forgetting to hand in your homework. That annual report is called a Form 10K. The rule they broke was Section 802.01e. It's just a rule that says companies need to file their paperwork on time. It's about as exciting as it sounds, but important to avoid a scolding from the stock exchange. The good news is that by June 6, 2025, they got their act together. The New York Stock Exchange sent them another letter saying, okay, you're good now. They filed their annual report and their quarterly report, which is called a Form 10Q. So they're back in compliance. Crisis averted. Next up, the company held an earnings call to discuss how they did financially during the first 3 months of the year. Think of it as a report card for the company. You can even read a transcript of that call. It's like eavesdropping on a company meeting, but, legal. We get the transcript of their earnings call. Let's check that out now. This transcript provides information from a conference call held on June 6, 2025. Mark Burns, who is the company's CEO, which means Chief Executive Officer, started by saying the company had a very slow start to the year. He mentioned that sales were down. Sales being down is generally not a good sign. It's like having less customers come to your store. The slow start to the year was blamed on weather and weak demand. Weather affecting business is a common challenge, like rain ruining a picnic. Weak demand means people weren't buying as much as the company expected. Timothy Buer, the company's president, added that they are making changes to improve things and are optimistic about the rest of the year. This is like a coach saying, we're making adjustments and we expect to win. The conversation mentioned a slow start, but didn't provide any hard numbers or estimates for future performance. Without figures, it's difficult to judge how severe the impact will be. David Johnson, the CFO, Chief Financial Officer, then discussed the numbers. He pointed out that sales were down 21% compared to the same time last year. That's like losing roughly 1 in 5 customers, which is a pretty big drop. The drop in sales was due to several reasons. North America experienced significant weather issues. Weather problems led to delayed planting. Delays in planting mean farmers buy products later in the season. The CFO also mentioned that gross profit margins were lower. Gross profit is the money a company makes after subtracting the cost of making its products. Lower margins mean the company is making less money on each sale. This is like selling lemonade but having to spend more on lemons and sugar. Operating expenses were also up. Operating expenses are costs to keep the business running, like salaries and rent. Increased expenses and lower sales is a bad combination, like spending more while earning less. Interest expense was $2,000 to $23 million. This is the cost of borrowing money. Having to pay interest is like paying rent on money you borrowed. The company reported a net loss of $9.3 million. A net loss means the company lost money overall. Losing money is never a good thing, especially if it's a large amount. The company is still hopeful about the rest of the year. They expect improvements in the second half as conditions improve. Hoping for a better second half is like hoping for sunshine after a rainy morning. The company believes its gross margins will improve. They also plan to cut operating expenses. Cutting expenses while hoping to improve profits is a typical strategy when times are tough. During the question and answer session, analysts asked about weather conditions and future performance. Analysts asking tough questions is common in these calls, and it keeps companies accountable. It was said that about 20% of the business in North America was affected by the weather, and the company is trying to adjust. The call emphasized that the late planting season would impact sales. If farmers plant late, then it will delay crop product sales as well. The company expects sales in the second quarter to be about the same as last year, but with some changes in the product mix. This is like saying sales will be flat, but which products sold will change. Overall, the company tried to stay optimistic despite the challenges, but the details showed things were tough in the first quarter. So what's the story here? American Vanguard almost got in trouble with the stock exchange, but they managed to fix it by filing their reports. However, their earnings call wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. Sales were down and they lost money. They're hoping for a better second half, but it sounds like they have a lot of work to do. Now, let's look at the big picture. American Vanguard had a rough start to the year. The weather and weak demand hurt sales, and their profit margins went down. They are hoping for a turnaround, but it's not guaranteed. One thing that stands out is their optimism. Despite the challenges, the company is confident they can improve. This positive attitude can be good for morale, but it needs to be backed up by actual results. A potential risk is their reliance on weather conditions. If weather continues to be unfavourable, it could further hurt their performance. On the other hand, their plan to cut operating expenses could help improve profitability. If they can successfully reduce costs, it could make a big difference. Overall, American Vanguard has some challenges to overcome. They need to improve sales and manage expenses effectively. The rest of the year will be crucial to see if they can turn things around. Alright, that's our breakdown of American Vanguard's latest filing. What's your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.